Greetings and salutations, herpetologists. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hey!
This is the Two Nerds Podcast, and today we're back once again with the illness, talking about movies that we watched and are now looking at in a sort of a judgy manner, and it's good. 2014.
You know what? I can't decide if it's funnier to just to try and explain what you just said in a way that isn't insane, or to just let it go.
Funnier or not, we should probably actually tell the listener.
Every year since 2013, he and I have... Well, actually, he's been doing it since 2012.
And 2012 and 2013 are both up on this channel if y'all want to go check them out. 2013 is so big it had to be 2 videos. Will this be what happens in this video? You know, we don't. Time travel.
Okay. He's in a weird mood tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So, we've been documenting every movie that we watch year over year, with both a picture we like from the movie, like a screenshot or what have you, and our favorite or a quote we like. And we've called it movie homework, or at least I have for several years.
It just stuck.
And
because it was a thing where you were like, watching movies got less fun because you had to remember shit to write down.
Yeah, I had to go remember shit to do my movie homework about. I'm over it now, largely, but that's how the nickname stuck. So we've begun to go back and, mine our old actual lives for content and grade movie homework.
Just wrestling isn't as fun to watch anymore. I'm going to look into TNA, though. I've heard it's been really good lately, despite it being TNA.
Isn't it called Impact now?
Whatever the fuck it is. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
NWA, TNA, Global Force Wrestling, the Anthem Owl presents Fight Man's Go Fight.
No, I'm sorry. If it was that, I'd watch it more. But anyway, we're going to go over all the movies both of us watched in the year 2014. Because we have been living together my entire adult life, they're largely the same, but there are some differences, and we're just going to go over them, read off the quote that we picked, and sort of not do a review of the movies, but just generally give our impressions, memories, that sort of thing. A little bit of a retrospective.
A mini review, I'd say. Y'all remember the 60-second reviews for games and movies and stuff? It's like that.
But for a lot of them all at once, because we got 30 minutes to film.
Yeah, YouTube ain't like that anymore. What are you going to watch? A whole-ass ad? Not on our channel, of course, unless it's monetized for some reason. Unless I sing a publicly known song very well. Gets monetized by somebody else, not me. You don't see ads on this shit. Which means we don't make money on this shit. So if you guys want to go to the description and click on the Patreon, you too can sign up to give me $1, $5. You get exclusive content if you look for $5. And hell, the more people I have who donate $5 a month to me, the more content I'm going to put up. Because right now it's just the one guy, and Rob, we love you. What else do you want from me, man? You can also buy my books in the description. That's the closest thing to merch we have because, again, $5.
Let's go.
So this is a banner year, actually. This is the first year we rang in the new year watching Saint Young Men. And I don't believe we did it on purpose.
No, we wanted something to watch, and midnight has just passed into 2014. And we'd actually both kind of been meaning to watch this for
I watched the OVA, which was really fun. But I don't think I'd watched the movie yet. And I was like, dude, you like it? So we sat down and watched it. If you don't know, it's an anime about Jesus and the Buddha taking a vacation on Earth together.
In modern Japan.
Trying to be incognito.
It is adorable. It is a movie. It is, I think, honestly, the movie I have seen the most ever at this point in my life, because it became a tradition after this that every year on New Year's, after the midnight rolled over, we watched Saint Young Men to ring in the new year.
Because it ends on New Year's.
Yeah, because it ends New Year's, and I love this movie. It's a fine movie by itself, but at this point, it's a tradition. I have so many good memories of this movie that aren't even about the movie, necessarily.
The number of times we have both stopped and stretched at the little musical interlude part 3/4 of the way through the movie and been like, wow, is it there already? And yet at the same time, can it be over soon?
Because it's a good movie, but I have seen it a lot. But it's not about the movie anymore. It's about the tradition.
Yeah, I would still recommend it. The OVA a little less so, but the movie's really cute and fun, and it's not offensive. Like,
No, if you heard that and you thought it sounded offensive, one, weird that you're still listening to this podcast. Two, it's not. It's genuinely
it's really sweet,
amusing. It doesn't take itself super seriously, but that is to its benefit.
I tell you what, if you are religious enough that the Simpsons joke of the waffle on the ceiling that Homer ate and said, sacrilegious, offends you, don't watch the movie. How are you still here? Please let me know in the comments.
If you're anywhere beyond that, like beneath that line, you're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. It's fine. But my quote was, Tinkerbell's skirt length is loyal to the original work.
Mine is a proper birthday cake with Santa.
Oh, man, I love this movie so much. All right, next film, I believe we also both watched together. Yes, indeed, it is Kiss Kiss Clang Clang.
Otherwise known, a little known indie feature you might have heard of, Iron Man 3. So-called Kiss Kiss Clang Clang because it was made by the same guy who made Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and boy, can you fucking tell.
Both of which also starred Robert Downey Jr., and yeah, the tone is just really similar. When I saw this, despite as poorly as it was received, for a brief period of time, it was my favorite Marvel movie.
I'm baffled by this movie being received poorly. This is a really fun and good Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Look, I'll go to bat for Iron Man 2, but to a certain extent I get it. To a certain extent I get the hate. I don't get it for this one. This is a fun movie. This is a good movie. If you're enough of a comics nerd that you're still mad about the Mandarin this many years on, I don't know what to tell you, homie, aside from they're doing the legit Mandarin. They're building up to it.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in Shang-Chi, so that's cool.
Maybe you can go back and enjoy Ben Kingsley's quite fun performance.
Delightful performance. It's just really funny and interesting choices. But we just started a Marvel movie rewatch, not counting the Hulk, because who does?
I've never seen The Incredible Hulk. And for those MCU completionists who say I should watch it to say I fully experienced the MCU, I say, no, I shouldn't. Fuck you.
So I am curious to see how in a post Rise of Skywalker world I respond to Iron Man 2.
Now that you've had your fucking bar for what counts as a bad movie sort of relitigated.
Even a bad interpretation. Like, I thought The Hobbit 3 was bad, or however many movies they made of that.
19, I think.
But that's something I look forward to, is re-ranking all this shit. I meant to do that with Star Wars movies when we finished Solo recently, but you guys will hear from it probably in this specific version of our podcast. But what was your quote for Iron Man 3, my guy?
It's a conversation. I'm cold. I can tell. You know how I can tell? Because we're connected.
And I had, don't shoot! Seriously, I don't even like working here. They're so weird. It was a very Robert Downey Jr. year. We watched Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. Conclusion, inevitable. Unless, was the quote I chose.
And I chose, you have paid me several compliments. Let me pay you one in return when I say that if I were assured of the former eventuality, I would cheerfully accept the latter.
I don't remember a whole lot about this movie.
I do. I love this
film. I loved it a lot too, yeah. It was good. Really good interpretation of Moriarty. Really fun plot. Really good adventure. I think the beginning was a little weak, but not in a terrible way. A movie's got to start somehow.
Yep. I almost picked the line, they're dangerous at both ends and crafty in the middle, because I love it.
It's a good line.
It's Robert Downey Jr.'s movies are as much a valid version of the Sherlock Holmes movies as any of the more well-respected interpretations. I know some people find them a little bro-y, but I mean, you must not have read much of the original material, because it was pretty bro-y for its era.
Yeah,
and it's better than the last season of Sherlock.
My preference for Sherlock Holmes is if I could get the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock and the Martin Freeman Watson. That would just be amazing.
Couple scenes in the MCU give you that, I think.
Briefly, but not quite.
Yeah.
It could have been a little closer. I do love Martin Freeman in basically anything he's ever been in. So
he is a better Watson than Jude Law.
I'm pretty sure I didn't watch whatever this is. So
you absolutely did not. This is the fourth movie I watched in 2014. A movie called Stand Up Guys. The line I picked was, "What time is it?" I have actually been meaning to find an excuse to talk about this movie for years. I fucking love this movie. This is a movie about three old sort of semi-retired criminals who get embroiled back into life again. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. If that sounds interesting, it is. If it doesn't quite yet, two of the main characters are Christopher Walken and Al Pacino. There you go. Now it's interesting.
Is the third one Jigsaw?
I can't remember his name. He's a very well-known actor. I honestly can't remember his name at the moment. He's also just as good as the other two. It's just I'm dumb. I really like this movie. I really liked this movie when I watched it. And I actually normally I choose jokey lines a lot of the time, or very like big bombastic speeches like I did for the Sherlock Holmes movie. I chose "What Time Is It?" because it's actually a through line that is said many times throughout the movie and kind of represents something very important about the lesson the movie has sort of baked into it. I think this movie's really fun, and I also think it's kind of a fair bit deeper than you would give it credit for upon just seeing the trailer. Also, it has some standout shit that's become popular in GIF form on the internet, as noted with a scene where a man is holding a gun and Christopher Walken says, "Hands up," and Christopher Walken says, "No." The guy says, "But I have a gun," and Christopher Walken says, "I don't care."
Even just looking at the screenshot, like not being 2014, weird picky me. This looks kind of interesting. I wouldn't mind watching this sometime.
I really like this movie a lot.
Yeah, cool. I believe we sync back up. Yes, here it is. The first time we did a brig the vodka has gotten me. This is Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah, we were doing a rewatch in the lead up to whatever the Marvel movie of that year was.
God, I think we talked about it already in one of the previous podcasts, so I'll just give you the quote. "We'll have the band play something slow. I'd hate to step on your..."
That's a good one. Mine was, of course, "I can do this all day."
Good stuff. Woof.
Oof! Oof! This one was... I forgot about this fucking movie. Let's tell you a story, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a person we used to live with who really liked this movie. It is called Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. Came out in 2013. It features...
I believe we saw this in the theater.
No, we watched it at home.
Okay, good. I would be sad if we...
They might have watched it in the theater. This was a not great monster hunting movie starring Hawkeye and some lady.
I wanted to see this movie because Jeremy Renner's an alright guy, and I wanted to, good for you doing stuff, Jeremy Renner. Oof, this is not good. It was fun.
He clearly did not give a shit about being in this movie.
It's fun, but not good. Oh yeah, he clearly was not invested.
No.
Jeremy Renner's a great actor. Not here. Peter Stormare's in it.
Yes, that's basically the reason I was interested. He's only in the first part, though, so...
my line was, "Please work."
And mine was, "Are you a good shot?" "No, that's why I use a shotgun." Which is actually a reference to something my dad said at one time that I put into my books, which you can buy a link in the description. Is that, I forget what we were talking about, what brought it on, but a friend of mine was talking about how shotguns suck and they're dumb. So I turned to my dad, who was sitting behind me at the time. I was talking to my friend on the internet and said, "Hey, Dad." And I basically told my friend this is what he was about to say. I said, "Hey, Dad, do you like shotguns?" He's like, "Yeah, shotguns are great. Spreads, kills more." So, "Are you a good shot?" "No, that's why I use a shotgun. Spreads, kills more." Comedy specials. We both watched Aziz Ansari, Intimate Moments for a Sensual Evening. I clipped mine down to just Intimate Moments for some reason.
Because that's very long.
Yeah. God, I liked Aziz Ansari's stand-up. It was pretty good. It kind of fell off for me in the last couple of years. He kind of changed his act.
Stand-up in general has kind of fallen off for me.
I mean, I've been trying to get back into it, but it's...
It comes in cycles.
Yeah. The quote I picked from it was, "Yay, more people that don't hate me."
The quote I picked was, "No, guys, I just talked to Edelstein again, and you'll definitely get the points back. Just mention my name and the fact that I exist."
That whole bit just came back to me, and it's a good bit.
It's a good bit.
Good stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, then I watched another Aziz Ansari special.
This one I gave a pass to.
Yeah. Dangerously Delicious. 50 Cent, the rapper, ordered a grapefruit soda. The waiter brings him a grapefruit soda. And then 50 Cent said the greatest thing anyone could ever say when they see a grapefruit soda. He looks at the waiter and goes, "Why isn't this purple?" And it took me a few seconds, and then I realized, oh my god, 50 Cent has no idea what a grapefruit is. Excuse me, everyone in the restaurant, shut up. A waiter's about to explain to a grown man what a grapefruit is.
I think I did watch this at some point. I recognized that bit.
It was all over Tumblr for a while.
Oh, it was good.
Jeez, I watched another one. I know we watched the next movie together, so let me just keep going. Aziz Ansari, Buried Alive. This is what my heart feels like right now, which is a reference to a dick pic. Then I watched Bo Burnham, What? It was regrettable. Art is a lie, nothing is real. And now we've met back up. Let's swap over to you for the start of this one.
This was 2014, and we watched the 2013 movie, Mama. It's a horror movie. My line was, "Victoria, come, Mama."
Mine was, "This is Annabelle, leave a message after the beep. Fuck you, beep."
This is a good movie.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like...
It wasn't anything special.
Yeah,
but
real substantial or real provoking or anything.
How as good as The Woman in Black?
I'd say it was a little better. I'd say it was a little better. But it was also tonally very different.
Yeah, tonally very different. Much more self-serious.
Yeah, and suspenseful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it.
I'm not going to explain the premise to you. Go watch it if you want.
Or Google it if that makes you happy. You watched another film?
I did. Another horror movie. 2012's House at the End of the Street. People don't notice all the secrets around them, even though they're right in front of them, just hiding, waiting to be found. This is also one of the few times that the thing I am quoting happens in the scene where my picture is taking place, which I try not to do because it amuses me.
Yeah.
It is a serial killer horror movie, like a mystery, who's the killer sort of thing.
I think I remember the ads for this.
It's a Jennifer Lawrence movie. It's fine. It's not a terribly good mystery.
Sounds like it.
If memory serves, it might not even been like it might have been one of those things where it wasn't a mystery to the audience and I'm just remembering myself as smarter than I am. But if it was meant to be a mystery to the audience, oof, does it not do a good job?
What the fuck? Did I watch that without you? No, I didn't.
We split off at this point in the movie.
Yeah, wow, it's still January for you. All right, well, lucky you.
I watched 1991's The Addams Family. Look, children, a new chapter. Scams. This is a fun movie. I like this movie. This was not the Addams Family movie of my childhood. It's always going to be Addams Family Reunion.
I actually didn't have an Addams Family. I wasn't into Addams Family until around when I met you. And I saw this movie and I was like, wow, this is really good.
This is a really good movie. I love Addams Family Reunion. It is.
Was that the made-for-TV one?
It's the one with the camp.
I think that's Values.
Or Values, excuse me.
I think there is one called Addams Family Reunion.
I think you're right.
I just think it was like made-for-TV.
I don't remember it. I don't remember the name. I remember it being on TBS a million times.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Addams Family Values. That sounds right. We're the one where Wednesday and Pugsley go to camp.
Yes, that's phenomenal as well.
It's very fun.
I didn't like the A plot of that movie as much.
The Uncle Fester plot?
Yeah, but I really, really liked the camp stuff. It was really, really good stuff. All right, we're back. Synchronicity.
Yes.
I'll take back over then. It is February 3rd, so of course we watched Groundhog Day. Well, what if there is no tomorrow? There wasn't one today.
Groundhog Day is a real good movie. Mine was, okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today. It's cold out there every day. What is this? Miami Beach? Not hardly.
Wow, if you haven't seen Groundhog Day, you actually probably have in another film that's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, this is one of those few movies that created a plot that was so goddamned good that everything stole that plot.
I've been watching Supernatural, and there's an episode in season 3 that's Groundhog Day. And it's great.
It's a good premise, man.
I mean, yeah, every Groundhog Day I've seen is good.
It's a good premise. Even that, I watched a Disney Channel original movie as a kid about, it was Groundhog Day, but this kid, this spoiled entitled brat kid, had to keep repeating Christmas until he didn't fuck it up. And even it was good because it's a good premise, Brent. Something that was true for both of us on this watch that I want to mention is that we did not mean to, but we timed it so that when it hits February 3rd in the movie, when he wakes up and it is the next day, it happened at exactly midnight, February 3rd.
It was kind of wild, too, because we tried to watch this movie through a bunch of different, services.
Yeah,
and you had to torrent it or something like that.
We had to find this movie.
We illegally bought it from a shady man wearing a trench coat, and he explicitly said that none of this money was going to the actors or hardworking production team that made the film. We paid like $100 for it, and I think he said he was going to sell some children later. I don't know. Anyway,
but it delayed it to the exact point that it reached February 3rd. At February 3rd, and I really like that little coincidence.
Yeah, that was just fun. Oh, hell yeah. I watched this one again not too long ago.
We did.
So I've been waiting for this point. This is when we moved into this house that we're living in right now.
Oh, wow, yeah, this is the first movie we watched in the house where we currently are doing this podcast.
Yeah.
In this room.
In this room, the TV and the Xbox were in a different place, obviously, in this room, Those of you who can't see us don't know where our furniture is, but most of you listening do. So we wanted to ring in, the new home with a quality film, and I busted out Airheads because it's a quality fucking film.
It is a quality fucking film. I chose the perennial masterpiece of a line. If it's too loud, you're too old.
I picked, I'm going to stab your heads off. With what? With my dick! Yeah! And blood's gonna come out of your head, and there's nothing you can do about it, because I'm a madman! This movie is beautiful.
This movie is... God, this movie is... I love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, but this movie is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure for me.
Yeah.
That space that movie occupies and so many people roughly my age, it's Airheads for me.
Yeah. It doesn't hold up quite as well in 2020 as it did in 2014.
I don't imagine so,
but it's also not as bad as you'd expect. And otherwise, in terms of humor and acting and storyline and stuff.
Amount of Brendan Fraser in the movie.
Sure, Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler before he was a douche. Before he got old, basically. Joe Mantegna before he got old. Star-studded cast, but yeah, good film. One of my favorites of all time. We've got another movie here. Guys.
My love affair with Jason Statham continues.
We're already to February 16th, and this is his first Jason Statham movie. Wow. Was it a rough couple months for you?
It's literally the next one I found. 2012, Safe. What the hell did you do, kid? Jason Statham playing a gruff, grizzled British man being put in charge of keeping a small child safe, which literally is a subgenre of the Jason Statham movie.
I would argue that it's the main genre of Jason Statham.
It's not the main genre, it is a subgenre.
I guess we just watched one Captain America movie. I thought we went on like a tear. Maybe the person we were living with did, and we stopped paying attention.
Or maybe I did. Just turned it on. That seems like something I would do.
But we both meet up again here.
Oh, you know what it was? No, they hadn't seen it, and we were catching them up.
Was it? I thought that's what happened.
I think.
Whatever. You accept my lies?
Moving right along.
Because it doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Moving right along.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Human hair from my back.
Mine, same movie. So what now, Jack Sparrow? Are we to be two immortals locked in epic battle till judgment day and trumpets sound?
I think we've talked about these movies on a previous version of this podcast, so let's roll right along. Wow, we just had a weird array of movies.
Yeah, we weren't. This wasn't a year where the person we used to live with was on a big marathons kick.
I think we were also on different schedules.
Yeah, so we didn't end up watching as many the entire series ofs. This one being Star Trek Nemesis.
This was you and me thing.
Yeah.
That person was not involved in this.
No.
I'd always wanted to see it, and I think it showed up on Netflix, and you were like, you want to watch this? And I was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It gets shit. In the same way all even-numbered Star Trek movies get shit. But it was fine.
I mean...
Or no, is it the odd ones that get shit?
It had its
Whichever
issues.
one that gets shit, that's what it is.
It had some real big plot issues, but
it's fine.
It's okay.
It's not any more plot issues than your average episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, have y'all watched episode 1 of The Next Generation recently? Episode 1, season 1 of The Next Generation.
Lesser don't, but still probably not.
It's a wild ride, and there's no Mr. Toad to direct you.
The line I picked was, "It appears to be a robotic arm. Very astute."
I picked, "I hope you'll forgive the darkness. We're not comfortable in the light." Which I mentioned here in the comments. Funny how Tom Hardy is the actor who says that line and years later delivers his speech about darkness and light in The Dark Knight Rises. Like, I'm sure it wasn't a nod, because who makes a nod to Star Trek Nemesis, but still, weird.
It's just a weird coincidence. Tom Hardy's also a very strange actor.
Well, this was, either during or...
This was very early Hardy.
Yeah, this was, before he got clean, I think.
Yeah.
Fucking... this is a documentary called Titanic's Final Mystery, and good God, are documentaries hard to pick quotes from. The one I chose was The Killing Zone.
And the one I chose was The Killing Zone.
I don't remember the context.
It's a weird, boring documentary.
That contained the edgy phrase, The Killing Zone, 19 times.
And so we both picked... I think we both said at the time that we had picked different instances of the phrase, The Killing Zone.
Because there were many options for it. Let's see. I watched a short film called Omelette. It was from 2013. It's a cartoon featuring a dog. If you want to look it up, it's very cute and it's very short. The quote I chose was, "That's the sound a dog makes, often." Move along now.
The 17th movie I watched in 2014, February 25th. I used to watch so many goddamn movies. Was The Hunger Games, 2012. Can you sing?
I chose You Definitely Smell Better Than I Do. Well, I've lived here longer. I don't remember the context of that.
I don't remember that at all.
I watched a short film, which wasn't even a short film. It was an ad campaign. A lot of people might remember this one, called First Kiss. It had people kissing for the first time, but it didn't even really. The quote I had from it was, "What's your name again?" I wouldn't recommend watching this, because after I found out it was an ad campaign, I felt really manipulated, and I didn't care for it.
I would instead recommend a different short film that I may have watched later, I don't remember, or may have watched before this, called The Slap, wherein people actually slap each other in the face for the first time, and you get to see their reactions.
There's a visceral delight on this guy's mug that I cannot describe to you, listener.
It's in YouTube. Easily accessible.
Okay, so this is a film you watched while I was killing time.
And it's a film I love. Number 18 that year, National Treasure, 2004.
You just watched it not a year ago.
I love this movie. They're making a third one. I believe like I believed in the founders. No, we didn't. We didn't miss it because you don't know this. I know something about history that you don't know. I'd be very excited to learn about it, Riley. Hold on one second. Let me just take in this moment. This is cool. Is this how you feel all the time? Well, except now.
You can go back to the previous podcast to find out how he feels about National Treasure.
Here's a hint. I love it.
So we're catching up with each other here now with the Hunger Games catching fire. It must be a fragile system if it can be brought down by just a few berries.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Same movie. I agree she should die, but in the right way, at the right time. It's moves and counter moves. That's all we've got to look at. Philip Seymour Hoffman was a good-ass actor.
Yeah. That was a decent film. We discussed at length about like how we felt about the rest of the Hunger Games series when we talked about the first movie in a previous version of this podcast.
This was a good entry in the thing.
That was fine, yeah.
Not as good as the first movie.
No, but it was all right. We watched a documentary called Titanoboa Monster Snake.
It's about a big snake.
A big theoretical snake.
A big theoretical snake. I chose, "You're a good friend."
My quote was the same thing. You're a good friend. Documentaries are hard to pick things for.
Do you remember the context of "You're a good friend"?
I kind of do, but I think you remember it better, so please explain.
I can't remember it exactly, but I believe the context is they're discussing what they would do if they're walking through a swamp, if they're attacked by a crocodile. One of the guys looks at the other guy and says, "I just push you over and run." And the first guy goes, "You're a good friend."
That's kind of what I thought it was, but could not fully remember. I watched a short film called Abe. Very good. Touches on some cool concepts that I like. Very kind of tense. The quote is, "I wish I could stop falling in love." Hey,
I watched First Kiss. The line I chose was, "Should we make out more?"
Well, I sure as hell didn't watch Taken 2, so why don't you go ahead and...
Taken 2. You're wasting time. I like that line because it is something his daughter says to him as a callback from earlier in the movie, from the first movie. Because, he is about to be abducted, and he's trying to make sure she gets out of the situation, and he's actually sort of panicking, and then she goes, "You're wasting time," and, snaps him back. I really like that. That's cool. Good character development.
I think I saw Taken, or maybe kind of half paid attention to it.
I've told you the plot. That's probably what that is.
I know. I feel like I was in the room for some of the scenes anyway, and I think I actually saw this scene.
It's a powerful meme, also.
Yes, God, it is. It sure is. You watched Abe.
I watched a bunch of the short films.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, we'll just catch up with each other. I watched a short film called The Device. The quote I took is, "Check this out." I think it's actually written.
I watched all the short films you're about to list on yours shortly after you did. And the problem, and I didn't mention this to you at the time, is most of these don't have a lot of fucking dialogue in them.
They sure don't. I believe that was taken from a note card. He doesn't actually say anything.
Yeah, I don't think there's actually any words in The Device. Abe, for me, was, "Shall we begin?"
Catch up on The Device there.
The Device for me was "Yes," which is something he says out loud, and maybe the only out loud spoken line in the movie.
That was an alright one.
It's a fun little sci-fi idea.
Oh, yep, we both watched The Gate. Can you describe again what it was you saw? And you chose...
Fortunately, yes.
This was... I wanted it to be better, and the moral message it was hitting home made it even worse.
I feel like this would have been a better movie if it was not even a full length, just 20 minutes. Just give it a little time to breathe.
Yeah, and if the effects had been slightly more well refined. Well, I mean, we're both pulling from really short stills, and obviously there's shit's
only so many stills to have of this movie.
This shit kept in motion to obscure mediocre CGI, but I'm gonna guess we both watched this one. Yep, The Silent City, a short film from 2006. Someone is bound to come along.
Mine being, "He's asleep again, the prick."
This was a pretty good one.
Yeah,
I wish it had a more satisfying ending.
I've seen this same concept done better in a lot of places, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
I think at some point maybe I stopped doing short films because they are so hard to pick.
Well, and now I kind of have a question this year that I'm going to decide at the end of this year. I watch a lot of editorial videos. We're talking 45 minutes worth of, exploration. And, like, some of them are really shittily produced, like, here's the whole timeline to Dark Souls. I'm a small-time YouTuber. But then there's, like, people like Lindsay Ellis who are inarguably professionals.
Like, I've seen all the ContraPoints videos. Should I put her very well-edited, like, editorials on this list?
Yeah.
I think I started watching short films without putting them on my list at some point. Because it's just... In the same way I wouldn't put, like, a TV show I watch on the list, but for the opposite reason. There's just not enough material to draw from.
Sure. One I think that neither of us would regret.
No, this is really fucking good, even if there's only literally one spoken line.
I mean, it doesn't fucking matter. They made a movie out of it. Featuring, I've forgotten his name. Watson.
Martin Freeman?
I am almost positive he plays the dad.
That's awesome. That sounds great.
It's on Netflix. The original short film is called Cargo. Came out in 2013. Quote I chose is "Goodbye, Mommy," and the quote you chose is
"Goodbye, Mommy."
How about them apples? Fucking spectacular.
This was, if you want to see what short film done well looks like, this is it.
I'm not sure.
A very fucking affecting, very well done movie.
I'm not sure how they could have stretched this into a feature-length film unless the short film is like the last 20 minutes.
I feel like that's got to be what it is.
Yeah.
The short film is just like the last bit of it, like the climax.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hijinks ensue, or like they insert a bunch of shit in the middle.
Maybe. Who knows? Really, really good. It's nice to see somebody doing something new with zombie fiction in cinema. You get a lot of this kind of stuff in comics.
And you get some of it in TV, but it's good to see it in cinema.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Let's see. I don't think... Oh, maybe I did. Okay, no, but I watched something in between. Isn't this your favorite part of the podcast where we murmur and stammer and go, what's happening here?
If they're still listening, clearly it is.
I guess so. I watched a short film called Lights Out that is not on yours, and it's in between, so maybe we'll run into it eventually. The only quote I could take from it was, really cool, really creepy. Don't watch it before bed.
All good things to say.
But then we meet back up again.
We were picking a lot of the same lines this year.
Were we?
We go out of our way to not look at what the other person posted until we both post. That way we don't just...
Well, it's become kind of a game. Because I try to, like, read you and figure out what you're about to post, and I try to do something different. And now Stormy's in on it, so there's a second person to read.
So, but it's become kind of a game for us to, like, to pick different lines. We were posting a lot of the same shit this year. Because sometimes there's just a winner. And in this, Jay and Silent Bob Go Down Under, a comedy special with Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith, do you want to play Trouble again? Is just the winner. It's the winner of that special.
I saw they made a TikTok recently. Fucking my brain is Kevin Smith has a TikTok, I guess, or maybe it was on Harley's channel. I'm not sure. It was on my recommendeds, but they were talking about him and Jay went outside, and his wife's like, "You can't come back in 2 weeks. That's a rule." And he's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do until then? Snap cut to him at Jay's house at a sleepover with him and, like, all this racket happening. It was dumb, but exactly, what you would want out of that situation, and I enjoyed it. Oh, this fucking movie. Well, not this movie. We clicked forward on the boys list. Let me get through Frozen here. I picked the line I'm going to tell him. The picture I chose was of the nice shopkeeper man because he's my favorite character in that movie. I don't like that movie. We watched this together. Wow, I watched a lot of movies without you. Thor: The Dark World. Ta-da! We discussed this in a previous podcast. And now we're back in synchronicity.
With a very good movie. I don't know if I watched this, if I watched it today, if it would hold up. But at the time, I loved this fucking movie. As it says, literally in a post that I went out of my way to post below the picture, for the record, I could have picked any random line in this movie and it would still qualify as my favorite line. This movie was amazingly good. And like I said, I don't know if it would hold up as well now, but I loved it at the time. American Hustle from 2013.
It was the kind of movie that I would have caught on HBO or Showtime on a lazy summer day when no one else was in the house and had been blown away by.
I chose She Was the Picasso of Passive-Aggressive Karate.
And I picked, sometimes in life all you have are fucked up, poisonous choices.
Alternatively, either of us, I think neither of us picked this because we thought the other one was would have picked, I told you not to put metal in the science oven. What'd you do that for?
God, it was hilarious. This was a movie about a hustler, as you might imagine, in the 1970s, and just all the shit that happens because of his
Star-studded
hijinks.
cast, too.
Yeah, really deep performances and portrayals, not the movie I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little slicker. I thought it was going to be like an R-rated, what the fuck is the name of that movie? Not Anchorman, but like a sort of Will Ferrell, the frat pack joint kind of thing.
Yeah, like something much more shiny, something much more polished and like high gloss and like high roller shit. That is not what this movie is.
No, this movie was like medium dark. Like it was edgy. I liked it in a good way.
I feel like if we look at the time, we aren't even halfway through this list yet. I feel like this is a good place to stop. This is a good ending point to pick up with a second podcast for this year.
We're gonna do a multi-parter because I don't know. We're only in March, my guy.
You want to try and get to halfway?
We might not be able to. We watched a lot of movies this year, so yeah. Let's call it for now.
Let's call it for now. Look, we've only got so many years of movie homework to grade. Let's not.
Just gonna milk this cow for all she's worth. Yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one as we pick up with more movies that we've seen in the year 2014. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but how about it?
We're out of time. Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Fuck it.